Hi everybody.
Hello there.
Many of you have written in and asked us about insurance, and we haven't really covered that. So I got our policy out and looked at it for you so you could kind of get an idea. That's the big thing, and that's why we're doing this. Many of you have asked us about our insurance coverage. We went with the village's insurance agency because we could get flood, hurricane, earthquake, catastrophic ground collapse, sinkhole, all the coverages we wanted to. And there were plenty of other companies, but none that we could seem to get that entire package at a price that we could afford. We pay $1,171 a year. Please feel free to stop this and you can study the various coverages. You know, we're trying to give you a heads up before you buy a house or before you move down here. And you won't have a lot of the uncertainty that we did because we started looking later on in the game. And it's better to get all this taken care of before. Our insurance, and we are loaded, features hurricane, sinkhole, catastrophic ground collapse, flood insurance. You know, we tried to run the whole gamut, and it cost us $1,100 a year. That's probably $300 more, maybe $200 or $300 more than we had back home. But we're getting covered for more things, and yeah, so that's what it is. Now, we have flood insurance. Do we need it? We're in Central Florida. If you know where the villages are, you know it's kind of in the middle of the state. It's about 60 miles from the Gulf of Mexico and maybe about 70 miles or 80 miles from the Atlantic Ocean. And we are 70 feet above sea level here. My home is 70 feet above sea level. Does that mean it's going to stay dry? I don't know. That's why I bought the flood insurance.
Yeah.
Right now, we are sitting on the street,
In the gutter.
on the curb. Her feet are actually in the gutter. And the village is engineered to handle a great deal of rainwater and hopefully flood water. So you're going to see curbs like this one right here that flow toward drains. If you look at this drain, there's a big round hole that goes down to big pipe. Grates like these are placed all along neighborhood streets. They lead down into large chambers that accumulate water, which is distributed through large pipes going to the retention ponds throughout the area. Over here is the same thing. You can see one. As I look down the street, I can see several more just like it. So it handles all the rainwater that comes in the neighborhood. Now this neighborhood was built in late 2015, so it's over 3 years old, coming up on 4 years old. It's been tested a time or two, and nobody's had a serious issue. But you never know when you get one of those 25-year storms or a 100-year storm. But these storm drains, like you see in the street here, are connected to a series of pipes that go to retention ponds. And that's where we'll take up the next part of the video. Before we go to the retention ponds, I want to show you that between each lot, there is a low spot that runs down the property line. That has drainage tile in it. This is the back of the property here. Both properties, all the properties that touch that will drain toward that. So both yards will drain toward that one low ridge right down through there. And that will drain out toward the street and those storm drains. We're just leaving our home right now. I thought I would drive you to some of the retention ponds as well as a couple of ponds on the golf course. This is how the village controls water, and there are village golf courses and retention ponds in every area of the villages. It's called a closed basin drainage model. They use the water, first off, for watering the lawns of all the residents, and that water is used to keep the golf courses in good shape. Plus, I believe the water's used, if the fire departments would have a need, that would be the way they would obtain water, would be through this irrigation system. Right here, as you see, we're coming up to Bonifay Golf Course. That's how close it is to our home. And you can see a large pond right ahead of us. During times of heavy rain, you can see lots of areas that the villages actually allows those golf courses to flood to spare the homes. Now, I'm coming down Hillsborough Pike, and I'm going to show you a couple of retention ponds that are extremely close to where we live. And like I said, this is not exclusive to my neighborhood. This is all throughout the villages. I don't know if you can see to the right, you can see a nice little retention pond. That services the neighborhood of Dunedin. And right across the street, a larger one, and this is the village of Charlotte. This is a retention pond. It's actually very large. And you can see that that's Hillsborough Pike over there. But along the other sides, there are homes. And these homes fetch a premium price because they back up to the water. Now, these homeowners won't own any of this lake, but you do have use of it. And you can fish here. It's only 3 years old. I'd be interested to know exactly what kind of, or how big the fish would be in here. In the evenings, it's common to see pretty large alligators cruising along in here. And I'm not sure how large this is. Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 or 10 acres. I don't know. But the villages uses about, and this is mind-blowing, but I got this from thevillagenews.com, 65 million gallons of water every day. In fact, you can be driving along on a rainy day and the sprinklers along the sides of the roads will be sprinkling full blast. And your reaction to that is, why in the world would you be watering the grass when it's raining? Well, that's how they control the water in these retention ponds. They will let water out as they need to so that storm water can drain in here. And the water they're sprinkling with will soak back into the sand, this very sandy soil here. But these homeowners here, we looked at a few homes that back up to water when we came, and I asked my realtor, and by the way, if you need a realtor, a village's real estate person, we used Steve Lightbody. He's in partnership with his wife, Barbara, and they work for the villages, but he did a great job and was extremely accommodating, no pressure, and even since the sale's been complete, we've had a need for him a time or two, and he's come through, so I highly recommend Steve Lightbody. But I asked him about these homes that back up to the lake, because we like a lake view. And he said that the water levels in these lakes is not guaranteed in any way. So in other words, if they needed this water for something important, they could drain this lake down. Here's one of the benefits of living by a lake. I don't know if you saw that snake bird go under right there. But they could drain this lake down to a point where you could actually see the liner. But I'm pretty sure it's not plastic, but they all have a liner. And you will see in the heat of summer, some of these lakes are drained down to where you can see that. This is the lake that I showed you earlier, right near my home. And by the way, I apologize for the wind, but it's really a refreshing breeze today. Right near the end of September. Now you see there are more homes situated on this water. But some of these golf courses, including this one, were closed for quite some time earlier this summer when we had periods of heavy rain. They will actually flood the golf courses to keep the rest of the villages dry. So if you like to play a particular course, there's no guarantee it's going to be open all the time, because they do use this area to hold water. Now, this pond is very full, as you can see. Right over there I see one that's been drained down a bit. You can see it over there. So they regulate each pond. They have the ability to pump water in or out of it. Really ingenious system. The realtor told me that it's been studied worldwide for its efficiency. Are we in danger of flooding? We hope not. With the Noah's Ark type of flood, I think we're in trouble.
Yeah, everybody.
But back home, we were 700 feet above sea level. We felt very safe. We were well above any danger of flooding.
Yeah.
Of course, we could be flooded in when roads flood. And I think that would be an issue here. If some of these drains got clogged, some of these roads could be underwater.
Right.
But we haven't seen it yet. So anyway, thanks for watching. We really appreciate that. Thanks all of you that subscribe and you get a notice each time we post a video. We appreciate that too.
Until next time.
We'll see you when you get here.